And may the blessings of the infinite I Am Presence and the ascended host that come under my authority be upon each of you. I am Maitreya, not as much a stranger within your consciousness as perhaps in times past. And you ought to know by now, by that which is termed my accomplishments, that I am quite capable of keeping an eye on all of you and knowing those moments that I can come into your life and assist you. Let me remind you of 3 of my crowning achievements. Actually 4. For indeed, with the assistance of the Blessed Mother of the Great Central Sun, our beloved Akasha, did I assist Solomon to reach that deep heart level meditation that allowed him to experience the great lightning flash within his consciousness. And upon that lightning flash did he behold 2 great golden doors open before him. And did he find himself passing through the door of everything, everything being the soul. And it is here that he bathed in the great love of the Mother's presence that individualizes itself for each of you. And it is here that as he came forth from this experience, walked amongst his people, and his people could see that Solomon had changed, and there was a presence about him that ensured that the house of David, began by his father, would ensure the fulfillment in centuries ahead of time that would open the way for the King of Kings, Emmanuel, to come to this earth known as Yeshu ben Joseph. I, Maitreya, worked behind the scenes in readying this young lad known as Jesus, and ultimately escorting him into the great school of inner wisdom that was upon the earth at that time, known to you as the Himalaya Mystery Schools. And it was throughout his training and his passage back to the lands of Judea, in which, by teaching of him and his willing obedience and all that he took in within his being, did he well exemplify the beloved I Am Presence to the people of earth. And did he go and achieve all that was before him and leave behind a record, a public record of his ascension, in which the sinister force through the wars within the Arab-Israeli lands have done everything to try to cover over. And so with the great accomplishments of the one who became Jesus the Christ, and then the accomplishments of bringing about a very secret birth, another virgin birth, that brought about the life stream that is known best in legend, the life stream in Camelot, in which a young lad trained and who persevered through great challenges to bring about a sense of good God character within him, rose to be the future king, King Arthur. And upon by his life did he go on to achieve the great ascension and known to you today as the Ascended Master El Moya. 2 ascensions. And of course Solomon is ascended, so I'll include 3. And then, of course, continuing to work behind the scenes with the great violet flame that had come to the earth some 70,000 years ago through the ancient house of India, and behind the scenes overlighting this one through a series of conscious embodiments. And when I say conscious embodiments, what I mean by this is that he never laid his body into the change called death. In each embodiment that he lived, at the close of the embodiment, he returned upon my guidance his physical garment to the elements and consciously stepped forth and reunited with me in the great light realms to prepare his next embodiment. And of course, this whole series of embodiments concluded in my arrangement of his birth through Elizabeth I, the crown of the United Kingdom, in giving birth to a boy child hidden from the people, whose name was given Francis. The removal of this boy child from the English monarchy and placing him out in the countryside with a wonderful family of good God character, the Bacon family. And then, in his early years as a young adult, at the age of 20, did I arrange for him to have an audience with his mother, Queen Elizabeth I, who secretly placed upon him by my request a secret knighthood and commissioned him to go forth as the great William Shakespeare, who gave rise to the record of human beings upon this earth. It has been said, and it is about time you all know it, dear heart, that which is the writings of William Shakespeare are best understood and deciphered by those who first come to know the I Am Presence. And of course, William Shakespeare, at the close of that embodiment, had fulfilled centuries of embodiments, 70,000 years of embodiments upon this earth. And the crown of those 70,000 years of giving to the people of earth did he achieve his ascension, and then went on to take the name Beloved Saint Germain. And so I've got quite the record, dear hearts, of tutoring life streams who have a great purpose, life streams who've signed up to go the whole way, life streams who have some understanding of what has ruined life upon this planet and what has caused the deep sleep within human being and all the problems that came forth as a result. Now, all of this was part of a divine plan. From Solomon to Jesus, to Arthur, to raising a civilization of good God character, to William Shakespeare, and all of them achieving their ascensions. All of this was critical to this time of resurrection that is upon this earth. Jesus the Christ has fulfilled his prophecy. Although not yet visible to the outer people, he is here upon your planet. And that is why, dear hearts, it is so much easier for you to work with him and welcome his great raising activity. And so it is as I work behind the scenes with these four individuals who all achieved the divine plan of their lives. Am I called forth by Mother Akasha and Emmanuel and Saint Germain to assist all of you to fulfilling the divine plan that your beloved I Am Presence has for each of you, and all the cosmic agreements and contracts that each of you signed, and ensuring those experiences and those lifetimes that would lead you to the great awakening and the great path of becoming that is before you now. You have heard the cosmic law. When there is that which is lesser in their evolution, humbly reaches to that which is greater. The greater in their evolution must respond. Many times when I taught in the ancient mystery schools, I made sure that if you were going to raise your hand, you had a question worthy of Maitreya's answer. And I made sure that my students, when they raised their hand, knew that they were looking to the greater to support them, to evolve them, and to help them become everything their heart had revealed to them was their gifts to life, the purpose of that embodiment, all that had been planned and agreed upon to its crowning glory. There is a lot of mischief in the world, dear hearts. There's a lot of insanity, would you not agree? And there are those in some New Age movements that even suggest that Maitreya has been seen walking around London. My goodness, I have better things to do. I will leave walking around London to all of you, dear hearts. The point that I wish to emphasize with all of you, please teach yourself to be a little bit more humble and appreciative that there is that which is the greater, and that you just welcome all the help that you can get from on high. You just welcome it. And there is nothing you ought to hide. Try, and I'll find it anyway. Come, expose yourself to your presence, the ascended host. We do not know how to judge. We care not to judge. We know judgment is one of the great pillars of failure, and that which has caused a near collapse of life upon this earth. We are here to lovingly serve. There are few of us that will not put up with too much nonsense, because we have watched. We have watched golden ages be upon this earth. We've watched people be given the truth, and we've watched people hang on to their puny opinions, and we've watched that be their demise. So we really have no interest in that which is the human that acts up. You are tantalizingly beautiful spiritual beings, and you ought to desire from the inside out, nothing shall ever imprison my being again. I am well upon my path of being raised up and out of the tyranny, the horrifying beliefs that have denied the great God reality of the peoples, and I am now set upon a path. There's no going back. So I might as well skip along this path with great speed, great integration, great assimilation, and not look back. For that which waits for all of you who have chosen to evolve yourselves upon the greatest evolution of the soul, the radiant rose soul, is that which magnetically gets its hands upon you. And in your days ahead, if there is any difficulty, well, guess what? If you have any difficulty, find yourself a mirror and look into it, and point the finger at you and your stubbornness. Because I say to you, dear hearts, with all the help that you are being given, the sacred fire, the cosmic light, the great miracle love, If you are holding on to something that's limiting your life, then please admit it that you are joyfully holding on to it. You, dear hearts, are entering into a time where you can joyfully dismiss something that bothers you, joyfully dismiss something that limits you. Command it, get out of my life. I am here for my freedom. I am going the whole distance. Long it seems in the outer worlds have I experienced such limitation, such suffering, the debauchery of the human, and I am free of it. Hallelujah, I am free of it. I have found what guides me back to my heart, and I will not allow my mind to live without my heart, because that, dear hearts, is the downfall of humankind. To allow your beautiful light, to allow your beautiful minds not to be molded and cultivated with the great love that fulfills, that the heart provides. And so, as I overlit those four beings that I spoke of, and many more, who did not have lives of such great fame, yet whose lives went on to influence humankind in the most positive and wonderful way. Well, here's the good news as far as I am concerned. You cannot put yourself on a path of becoming your true self. Whether you call it the raising activity, the resurrection, whatever name you call it, you cannot place yourself upon a path that allows the great undoing of the artificial sense of self and allows the true sense of self to unfold without Maitreya keeping an eye on you. Now I have instant access to your higher minds. Your higher mind is your superintelligence, your all Christ-knowing, your omniscient state of consciousness, all of which has been bridged or eclipsed by the various beliefs in this world. I have instant access to your higher mental bodies. My beloved mighty I Am Presence, I greet you, I love you, and through you I focus my attention upon the ascended being known as Lord Maitreya. Lord Maitreya, you need not my permission. However, I give you permission. Talk to my higher Christ consciousness. Know everything that my higher Christ consciousness wishes to express and accomplish through this earthly embodiment. Teach me all ways in my own resurrection, that I sooner rather than later may begin to experience the Christ I am of my being. I welcome, have a conversation with my higher Christ mind, Maitreya, and based upon that, I welcome your direct hand upon me, as direct and as obvious as your hand was upon Solomon, upon Yeshu ben Joseph, upon the young lad named Arthur, who became King of England, and your hand upon the young lad Francis Bacon, who went on to become William Shakespeare and Saint Germain. As close as your hand was upon them, Maitreya, place your hand upon me, and I welcome it. Go ahead, invite me. However, dear hearts, if I see you putting up with nonsense from yourself, I tell you, you may have experienced a kick in the butt from a son. Well, it'll be a little bit more of a kick. Dear hearts, one thing I am infamous for with my students is my success rate of teaching my students the value of discipline. Many of my students I locked in their class, locked them in. If one student act up, the whole class paid for it. And why is discipline so important? Because it's going to open the way for each of you to focus and concentrate the great powers of your I am divinity into the outer world. Your world exists today not because of the workings of humankind. Your world today would not exist if it depended only upon the workings of humankind. Your world still exists because there have been those from on high who have come and have worked with those who showed the most promise, worked with those in which the great cosmic eye of God revealed to us, these are the ones that have the greatest potential. These are the ones that have some light still in their heart. These are the ones that if you counsel them, tutor them, mentor them, strengthen them, have the greatest possibility of bringing God back to this planet. God is life, dear hearts. It is I am, and that life is so magnanimous that it invites you to place beyond those words everything you can possibly conceive. Such is life. And so, in coming to you today, my simple message, as I had a direct hand in 4 who went on in infamy to assist and be a blessing to the people on this earth, I am willing, I have the expertise, you might say, to assist all of you. And I will say one more thing. The way of Maitreya is not plain. It is not without color. For I say to you, the rise of the 4 distinguished individuals such as Solomon and Jesus and Arthur and Francis Bacon, the rise of all of these individuals who lived dynamic, colorful, full lives. And you either loved them or you hated them. If you hated them, it's because of everything they represented that was a mirror to everything you yourself are not. So are you interested in Maitreya? Good. You know, dear hearts, the power of prayer, not to some abstract God, not to some punishing God, but the power of dynamic, conscious prayer, communication, the power of command, communicating through your heart to all of us. You've got to ring the cosmic doorbell a little often, my dear hearts, and you will find that we will answer more often. Have I enticed you?
Yes.
Good. Because Maitreya also has something to do with cultivating, or rather helping your hearts cultivate what they will naturally do once the experiences of your lives are all in your heart. You have not contemplated, you have heard Akasha and the Sun speak of these things, encourage you to enter phases of just observing things with no judgments. These are all minor activities, but I do not feel that you really yet, maybe you're on the verge of an insight. Maybe you are on the verge of an epiphany of what happens, dear hearts, when your life experiences are in your heart and all the magnificent mystical activities of your heart are processing them. And as your heart processes that, cultivates within you a being of such God character, a being in which the great forces of the heart are active within you, and brings about an ability for each of you to steer and direct the great laws, the three great forces of the heart. And all of that under an even greater umbrella, the umbrella of Akasha rose, the umbrella of supreme, most excellent elegance in this universe. Dear hearts, I demand in the name of your mighty I Am Presence, as your life experiences are magnetically called into your heart, I demand it. I will make the same demand of you that I made to students of my own in the ancient mystery schools. I demand you leave the past in the past. I cannot work with you if you stay in the past. It is your future that calls you, and if you are going to show up in your future, then you must be magnificently in the present moment, releasing what is useless, and as the son would say, embracing what is useful. You will have in Maitreya one or the other. In Maitreya, you will have one who will give you zero attention, or you will have one that will be your best friend to help you become everything you can possibly be. And if you think I hang around to cultivate some mediocre personality or some bland personality, then I just remind you, do some history work. Look into the life of Solomon and Jesus and Arthur and William Shakespeare, and you will find four individuals who engaged the full theater of life in living color. Now I've got you. Maitreya will be around if you wish. The invitation I extend to you. And I know that a son wishes to get his hands on you for a few moments. And so I greet you a fond adieu, and may the blessings of life be rich upon you. I thank you. The sun is with you, dear hearts. Wonderful to be here, and I express my deep gratitude to the Lord Maitreya. Those of us in the Ascended Host perhaps know well his great achievements, and I would remind you, dear hearts, he is a great avatar. And when the avatars, these beings come from the great central sun. Mother Akasha is an avatar. Mighty Victory is an avatar. And you can't go asking the avatars for help unless they've first made themselves available. And so the divine plan, you just think about this, dear heart, you must all gotten yourself into some pretty hot water down here. That you attract to yourself the mother of the great central sun. You attract to yourself the Ascended Host who have come from your earth's past. You attract to yourself a guarding role of Venus, where the goddess of Venus